If you have a lot of zucchini on your hands, like many of us do at the end of summer, especially great big ones like this, it's nice to have a lot of ways to use it up. So why not make some lemon ricotta zucchini ravioli? It's fun to make, delicious to eat, and it's really not hard at all. First, we're going to take this great big zucchini and understand that when zucchini get this large, they can have very bitter seeds inside. So we're going to use the zucchini flesh from the outside of the zucchini only, and that seed packet in the center will go into the compost bin. Let's cut some of the zucchini off of here. We need about 2 cups total. So again, I'm going to take the zucchini flesh from the sides of the zucchini, which doesn't have any of the bitter seed inside. As soon as you slice down and start to see seeds, give that zucchini a turn and cut from the other side. Compost bin. Now line up your little piles of zucchini and slice them into long strips. And then turn them a quarter turn and dice them nice and small. It doesn't really matter how big or small the dice are, as long as they're a uniform size and will cook evenly. And that's roughly 2 cups, all you should need for your ravioli. Now also going in the filling of the ravioli are some shallots and garlic. So we're going to dice that up as well. Finely mince them so nobody gets a big chunk of garlic in their ravioli. A shallot is a mild onion. I think they're really beautiful and delicious, easy to work with. If you don't have a shallot on hand, however, just use a regular onion. And then we're going to do the same thing with a little clove of garlic. Running your knife through it one last time will make sure you've captured everything into nice fine mince. Now, because we're putting this in fresh pasta sheets, the zucchini's not going to get a chance to actually cook and soften in the pasta when it cooks, so we're going to give it a quick saute right now in the pan along with the shallot and the garlic. A little bit of oil in the pan. Make sure that pan is preheated and nice and warm, and then we're going to go ahead and add our shallot and garlic just for a minute or so, and then we'll add our zucchini right behind. This allows the shallot and garlic to really mix with that olive oil and really become fragrant. In goes our zucchini. And season that up with some salt and pepper. I love pepper. I love pepper with ricotta and with lemon, so I'm going to go heavy on the pepper right here. And let that cook for just about 4 or 5 minutes. So just a few minutes on the stovetop is all you need, just so that it starts to become a little more translucent. Now, we have to cool this before we mix it with the ricotta and the other ingredients for the filling. A nice easy way to do that is to spread it out onto a sheet pan like this and let it cool faster. You could even pop it into the fridge, and when it's room temperature, bring it back out. So of course the main ingredient in our ricotta ravioli is ricotta cheese. We have a 15-ounce container here, and I don't know why they don't make 16-ounce containers, but that's what we've got, so that's what this recipe calls for. 1 15-ounce container of ricotta cheese, every last drop of it. We're going to beat this up just a little bit, make it nice and smooth. And I'm going to add 1 egg and stir that in, breaking it up. Great. Now, We've got our cooled zucchini along with the shallot and garlic in here. We're going to add all of that to the bowl. And because that's nice and cool, it's not going to melt our ricotta, it's not going to be a problem. But now we need to add our lemon bright flavor. I've got a lemon here. I'm going to just take just the zest. That's just the yellow part of the skin there, not the white pith. And there you go. Just that beautiful lemon zest. That is enough. We don't need the juice for this recipe. Just the zest will brighten that up beautifully. Some more salt and pepper. I know we already seasoned the zucchini, but now we're adding more ingredients, so we need more seasoning to it. A little bit of salt. And you know how I love the pepper with lemon and ricotta, so lots of pepper. Stir this all together, and then we're going to refrigerate this until we're ready with our pasta sheets. If, when you take this out of the refrigerator, there's some liquid involved, you're going to put this in a strainer and just make sure you've strained out any excess liquid. The next step is to use some fresh pasta sheets. These are fresh pasta sheets. You can get these any place that makes fresh pasta, or you can look at a high-end grocery store. They often have fresh pasta, or check your frozen freezer section. They might have frozen fresh sheets of pasta. Make sure they defrost completely, and we're going to start using one at a time. So this recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of fresh pasta dough, and that will give you about 36 raviolis. So we're going to start with one sheet here. One sheet with another sheet on top of it makes about 12. So we need to know where to put our filling. So to do that, what I'm going to do is draw a grid with some egg wash, just like this. And that egg wash is also going to be used to glue the ravioli together. So we're going to divide it into 3, and then we're going to divide it into 4, and that is going to give us our 12 quadrants. Then we know where to put our filling. Obviously, brush around the outside as well with your egg wash. Just like that. And now you have a roadmap. I'm going to use a little ice cream scooper here to scoop not full scoops, but just little, maybe heaping tablespoons of the filling across our pasta sheet here. We all want lots of filling in our ravioli, but if you do too much, it makes it really hard to seal the edges. If you can't seal the edges, then the ravioli comes apart in the water. So think ahead, be modest at this point. Okay, now we have to take our second sheet of pasta, put it on top, and seal these together. So just drag it over, and it's not going to feel like it's going to fit. Just do your best to pinch those sides together all the way down, all the way across the edges, and then all the way in between. If you need to, try just push that filling back away from the edge with your thumbs. Remember, making ravioli can be fun, it shouldn't be stressful. If one doesn't seal properly, what's the big deal? It's just going to be a broken ravioli and you're going to eat it and it's going to taste exactly the same. So once you have them all sealed, everywhere in between, doing your very best, you should have, again, a roadmap of where you're going to cut the ravioli. I'm going to use a pizza cutter. You could also use a knife if you wanted to, just to cut between the filling pillows. Now take a fork, and with each ravioli, just press down around those seams to really secure the edges together. This is another chance that you get to push any of that filling towards the center as you go around the outside. And then set that aside. You can set this aside on a sheet pan with some cornmeal down there. That will help prevent them from sticking. If you go through your ravioli and it looks like one has a really long edge like this one, just trim that right off. Do this to all the raviolis, you'll have 36 by the time you're finished. So we're going to boil these ravioli now that you've got them made, or if you want to eat them later, you can pop these into the freezer in a single layer, and then when they're frozen, put them in a bag, get out as much air as possible, and hold them there for a rainy day. But here's a really easy, quick, roasted fresh tomato sauce to go on top of these ravioli that is super easy to make in your air fryer. So we're going to take some cherry tomatoes that we've halved, pop those into the air fryer, add some shallot. You should already have some because you already put some in your zucchini ravioli. Pinch of oregano, some garlic, a little bit of white wine vinegar, just about a tablespoon. and about twice as much of that of olive oil. So shake that around, pop this into your air fryer, and then cook that at about 400 degrees for 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how well cooked you want those tomatoes to be. While that's cooking, get a big pot of water, bring it to a boil, and salt it really well. We're gonna cook these ravioli. They only take about 3 to 4 minutes, so make sure the table's laid and everybody's ready to go. So once your pasta water has come to a boil, then we're gonna season it really well because we want the outside of that pasta to be seasoned with salt as well as the inside. And we're gonna turn that down just a notch so that it's not at a rolling boil, which would then break open those ravioli. It's at a nice simmer. You don't want to cook all of these, all 36 at once. Do about 12 at a time and then transfer them to a warm plate in the oven. They should float when they're finished cooking. So we're going to add just about 6 here. I just want to show you 1 plate's worth and let those go. Just a nice simmer is all you need. No rolling boil. In the meantime, let's take a look at our tomato sauce that we were making. It looks beautiful. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. We've got a little bit of browning on some of the tomatoes. The tomatoes have broken open and cracked a little bit. I can smell the garlic and the shallots in there. We're going to transfer that to a bowl and then look and see what's down in that drawer below. You'll see a lot of juice. We're going to add that as well, and then we're going to season it with some salt and pepper. There's all that delicious juice. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of fresh basil. This is a quick and easy sauce. Even if you're just making a pasta and not going the whole run of making a ravioli here, you could make this little tomato pasta sauce for any kind of pasta you have. That's ready to go. The other thing that we're going to add to our dish when we're finally finished is a little bit of Parmesan cheese grated on top. So I have a big block of Parmesan cheese. I prefer to grate it fresh myself than to get the grated stuff at the store. So raviolis are cooking in about a minute. They're gonna be ready to come out. Get your plates ready. I use a little spider like this because that drains off all the water, and then get a clean kitchen towel so that you can dab the ravioli so that it doesn't have any excess water on it before you serve it. So they're all floating now, ready to come out. Have your clean towel ready. Grab that ravioli. You're gonna have to tip it a little bit to get all that water off. And then I just ever so slightly just tap it with a towel just so that it's nice and dry. We don't wanna water down that flavor. And then get it right onto a plate. You can see these are really big raviolis. So 4 to 6 per person is what I would suggest. So we'll do a happy medium right here and we'll go with 5. They're beautiful. You can drizzle a little olive oil on if you want to at this stage. Maybe you just like a little bit of cheese and nothing else on top. I'm gonna put some of those beautiful tomatoes on, and just a touch here and there gives a little bit of interest, and so delicious because their flavor has been concentrated as they roasted. And then a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. And look at that, you made the entire meal yourself with leftover zucchini.